Hey, everybody, welcome to Pink Shade Prime. It's a new show. It's 90 Day UK, Season 4, Episode 1, unknown title because we got screeners and they didn't tell us the titles. But I've got my very British friend here, Kimberly, to record with me.
Pip, pip. Cheerio. New show. Who dis?
You nailed it. Listen, I told Kimberly yesterday, she's like, "Are we recording tomorrow?" I go, "Yeah, I should watch this show. We're supposed to record tomorrow." And I gave the assignments based on the Instagram that they did. They did the couples all 7. And so I just took the first 4. No, I gave you the first 3 and I took the second 4. So I have no idea what's what, who's who, if you got the best ones, if I got the best ones. We'll see.
We're all winners here. But we're all losers in the same sense, because if anyone was getting frustrated with me mixing up what were those American gals that were dating that had the Dempsey and
Statler.
Okay. Always mix them up. This season we have a Shannon, Sarah, Sandra, Shorna.
Yes, we do. You're right. We've got
Good luck,
Shannon and Mete.
And when they say Shorna, it sounds like Sandra. So I was like, are they saying Sharna?
Ebrima and Zena. And then we have,
I think there's something wrong with that lady.
Adnand and Shorna. But we're also going to have Finn and Sandra, Sam and Allie, who we know from before, and Sarah and Marco. You're right. It's a lot of, what show did we just do? It was a lot of J's. It was Jasmine.
Gino.
No, it's the Valley. It's Jason, Jasmine,
Jax,
Janet, Jax. Yeah, it's Jay. So this was going to be the show of the S's, and that's fine.
Yeah,
it's fine. And again, they didn't tell us the title. I went to look all over the internet because sometimes they'll just go ahead and put the titles out there. But
maybe it's Beatles lyrics.
Oh, it definitely has to be a British.
We have someone from Liverpool.
Yes, we do. Yeah, I don't know if they could get the rights to that. Oh,
well,
that might be a hard sell. But you guys, this is 90 Day UK Season 4, Episode 1. Let's do it. Now, Episode 1 is going to be on the Pink Shade free feed as a bonus episode. After that, Episodes 2 through Infinity will be on Pink Shade Prime $10 level. So if you enjoy this, Episode 1, go ahead over to Pink Shade Prime and subscribe on the $10 level. It's called the Family Pink Shade level. Lots of stuff over there. Right now we've got Match Me Abroad has been over there. We've got the Valley. We've been doing the Valley over there. By the time this comes out, who knows what's going to be over there, because we're pre-recording this quite a bit early.
It's quite a bit early all the time. Yeah, over there. If you love Keisha.
Oh yeah,
said it's all Keisha all the time.
It's a lot of Keisha, but guess what? Because you're my British friend, got Kimberly.
Now I'm getting in there. Wow, that accent is going to get really old very shortly.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Luckily for me, even when I went to London, I still couldn't quite nail it.
Yeah,
couldn't quite nail it, which was a blessing for the people of London and the people of America as well.
Has your skill level on an accent deterred you from using the accent?
No.
That's what I'm saying. So it doesn't really matter.
No, especially not British. British, I love. The accent is, I don't care if it's Cockney, if it's highbrow, I don't care what it is. I love it. I did have to put my closed captions on at one point because it's Shannon and Mete. My closed caption was calling Mete Messi, M-E-S-S-I, like he was the soccer player.
Yeah, and even the transcription that came with the screeners was very wrong.
Was it?
Yeah. Oh, very wrong. But what's great about this show is that sometimes we put the British people above ourselves and say they're so much classier than us.
Right.
They would never be dumb asses like we are on TV regularly. That's just not true. That's just not true. These people are just as dumb and delusional as we are.
Yes. But they look cuter because they have the accents.
Right. They
Yeah.
just sound fancier as they're making dumbass decisions.
Yeah. It doesn't matter what nationality you are. You can make a bad
No,
decision.
dumb speaks every language.
And that's why we love these shows. Thank you, Matt Sharp spinoff.
Mhm.
So let's get into the show. We didn't get all the couples this week. We just got, did we get 4? We got 3.
3.
We got Shannon and Mete. We got Ebrima and Zena. And we got Adnand. And I was like, that has to be a misspelling. It has to be Adnand. But no, they
Yeah.
showed his Chiron and had a D, Adnand.
Right, but
Um,
someone pronounces it Adnand with
and
an
then,
E, and I was like, "What?"
we're just going to say Adnan.
Yeah.
So let's get started. And we're going to start with Shannon, age 25 from Liverpool, and Mete, age 32 from Istanbul, Turkey.
So I know what you're thinking right away. They're in the same age range.
Mhm,
There's no television here. Yes, there
mhm,
is.
mhm, mhm.
So, or at least that's what I was thinking. I was thinking these people seem too normal of a couple to be on this show. They better pull out some big secrets.
There's usually one couple that we're like, why are they on this show? They seem nice and
Yeah.
normal. And
Or that you go, this is what the show was originally. They should have been
mhm,
on the show at the beginning when
mhm.
there were all normal couples.
Yeah, yeah.
So I guess it was never all normal couples. We had George and Fisa in the early days, and Nicole and Asin after all. So
That's true.
Shannon, 25, Liverpool. She's a very pretty blonde. She loves football, but also makeup and tanning. She loves Turkey. She goes to Turkey all the time because she loves the beaches.
Mhm.
And she also works in a Turkish restaurant and has
Wow.
Turkish friends. So
Mhm.
she is a Turkeophile. Turcophile.
She's a Turcophile. Okay,
Much
got it.
like Katie is an Anglophile. She's
Uh-huh.
a Turcophile.
Okay.
We see her talking with a hot Turkish guy at the restaurant that she works at, and he's teaching her some Turkish phrases
Mhm.
because she's going to visit her boyfriend soon, Mete. And he was part of the entertainment team when she was visiting at the resort, which it's always the entertainment team, guys.
It's always something goes down with the entertainment team. We had Juan on the boat, of course.
Yeah, of
Did you see
course.
did you see Juan just announced on his Instagram today that he's got a new career?
What?
He's going to be in the travel industry as a travel agent for cruises.
That's a great job.
Isn't that a great that's a perfect fit for him.
Oh, I love it. Okay,
Mhm.
that makes me happy.
Yeah.
So
But
he's in Poop Town, but working at a they have a travel agency? Or
I'm
maybe it's
sh
an online travel agency.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't know how many ye old travel agencies you walk in the door anymore, but
Right.
my granddad used to own one, and my mom worked there as, like, the vice president, and I worked there as, like, the ticket runner. I would go to they would give me the tickets, I would go to people's houses to hand deliver the tickets. That's how
Oh,
you had to do it
wow.
back in the olden days, Kimberly.
I
Yeah.
love that.
Mhm. Mhm.
Okay, so this has been Mary Payne's original careers.
One of my
So
original careers of so
she's just
many.
gonna bring out a new one each time, and we're gonna get to
Sure.
hear a little
Sure.
peek into the window of what makes Mary Payne Mary Payne.
Mhm. Ask me next time. I'll have another one for you.
I
Mhm.
love it.
Okay.
So she was visiting a resort and he was trying to get her to do the activities like crazy pool, killer dads. I didn't know what either of those things are. Killer
She's
pool,
she said,
crazy pool, killer dads.
"Killer dads?"
Yeah, so I'm thinking like this is a game about family annihilators,
It's like,
like Chris Watts. I don't know. I don't
do you
understand.
think that's what she said, or do you think that
Yes,
was her accent?
that's what the subtitle said.
Well, the subtitles also called him Messy over and over,
That's
and his name
true.
is Mete.
That's
Uh,
true.
um, hmm,
Crazy pool could be like a game in the pool or
right,
a game of pool,
pool
like
table.
billiards, but I do not know what killer dads is. I didn't know what either of those things are.
Okay, I'm
Maybe
gonna
it's
have
like
to watch it again because
crazy eights, killer dads. I
okay,
don't know.
continue.
So she wasn't interested, but then one night after his shift, they connected and they talked all night. He's her ideal man. She thinks he's so cute. He also loves football, which is big for her. She's obsessed with football. She plays in a league that seems to be mostly guys. She's like one of the only girls or the only girl.
Yeah.
And she loves to show up the guys. And they go to the pub. They go to the pub every night after playing soccer. And one of the guys in her group is Jay, and he's like one of her very best friends. And he's trouble. Okay.
I,
He's uh
you think he's trouble?
I think he is sorry, my computer is
You think
whacking
he's
out.
trouble, or you think they're trying to make us believe he's trouble?
I think he is I can't tell if he is either gay or in love with her. It's one of those two things.
Totally.
And he is trying to stir up shit about Mete to break them up for sure.
Mm.
Um which I approve of. I'm fine with that. But I did know he was trouble when he walked in. Um
You guys just
but I don't dislike him.
if you've just met Kimberly, she does enjoy a Taylor Swift lyric.
I do.
Yeah.
So he is one of her closest friends, but they don't hang out as much. And he does little snide remarks like, "You could come over more. We could hang out more." And she's like, "I know. It's just Mete gets super jealous when I talk to other guys,
Mm-hmm.
especially Jay."
Mm-hmm.
So then we meet Mete, and he's from Marmaris, Turkey. He's 32. Now, at first, I didn't see that it said 32, and I couldn't understand that he said 32 because he has a very thick accent. So I did
Mm-hmm.
have to Google it. Then I saw that it said on the screen 32 because I'm dumb. So
But
he
they didn't give us the slides with the people right away. With
right
Mete, they
away.
did, but with the other people, they didn't right away give us like that opening thing that
Yeah.
tells us what we need to know. So that, and maybe that's because we got a screener and maybe they weren't finished
Yeah.
with it yet. But I have 32 Istanbul. So maybe my screen said something, or maybe she said Istanbul, or maybe I assumed
No, he
Istanbul.
moved to Istanbul.
Oh, okay, okay, okay,
So he's from Marmaris. That's where he was working and
okay.
at the resort.
Maybe that's a
Um,
beach town. Maybe.
Yes, I guess so. And but anyway, he's from Turkey. So we got to see if he's going to pull out some Turkish phrases like Sarper and make his own calendar.
He does pull out
So
one. He does pull
he
out
does
one.
pull out one later.
By the
So
way, he's
yeah.
cute. He's very cute.
Did you think he was cute?
Yes, I think he's very cute. Mhm.
Okay, he's just
Yeah,
not my type, but I don't think he's unattractive. He's just
yeah,
not my type.
he's cute.
So he loves boxing and being part of the entertainment team, which is the party people raised
Mhm.
as, as in Turkey we say raise the rafters, which is like
We're
the
not in
roof.
sync. I was trying to do it in sync. Okay, up, down, up, down. There we go. Up, down, up, down, up, down.
You could see my Kleenex because I've been wiping my nose. We're a sexy party people podcast with our little hankies. So so loves boxing, he loves partying, but he says he doesn't go out and party as much with his friends since he met the Shannon. The Shannon. By the way, I'm doing Sarper voice because he's Turkish, but his
Yeah.
voice is actually much higher pitched than Sarper, so it's like the Shannon. So it's not that high, but the Shannon is the love of his life. She
Mhm.
is so beautiful, and he is so. They both love to travel. They both love learning about history, and they love onion and garlic. Most people don't like the smell, but we
Mhm.
love the smell.
Yeah, look at them.
So that's perfect.
Getting stinky
So
together.
yeah. So they do argue though because he's very jealous and he says every single thing makes him jealous. Like just that she's hot makes him jealous. So
Relax.
now she needs to go tell Mete that she was out with the lads at the pub the night before. And
There was a girl there though.
there was one girl. So I would just lean into that. Be like, yeah,
Yeah.
I went out with
A lot of
I can think
people.
I went out with a lot of people. There was Grace, and I would pick some names. Chris could be a man or a woman,
Mhm.
or like Maddie, and just go. I would
Either
just
way.
do a lot of flexible names.
Mhm. I think
So
Mete is the person who's going to ask to see every single person's Instagram profile so he can vet
you're
them.
right.
So I don't think
Yeah,
that's
you're
gonna
right. It
work.
won't
Yeah.
work. It won't work.
Yeah. By the way, I hope you didn't notice me. I was trying to turn on my ring light and I was like, if you're watching a video, I was trying to mess with it because I don't know if that's any better or any worse, actually.
Oh, that's worse. Do put the light on.
Oh, wow. She's just told me like it was, guys. She just
You look
said,
terrible
you look
without
like
haggard.
shit.
Haggard.
Okay. All right. Lights on. Damn.
Like the little old lady that lives in a shoe.
Mm.
And
Or
the
like
light's
Zena,
much
who we're going to
better.
meet, Zena, who we're going to meet later.
who thinks she's gorgeous. I love
Listen,
her confidence,
same.
however misconstrued it is. So,
Mhm.
she's with Jay, and she's like, I got to tell Mete, oh, he's calling. I better talk to him. I better tell him I was out with the lads. She goes outside, walks 2 feet to the next door that is like an attached duplex type thing. And then she
Mhm.
goes inside. That's when we learn that they live in adjoining apartments.
Their
So,
walls touch.
yeah,
Yes.
she
Yeah.
says, I can hear you breathing in your bedroom. It's like, ew.
Oh, that's you better turn on a sound machine or something,
Yeah.
Jay, because something's about to be happening in that apartment, I think.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So Mete calls and they're chatting and he says, I'm just sitting on the coffee, darling. And she says his English has improved a lot since we started talking. I was like, he's sitting on the coffee, so he's getting an enema.
I was like, was he trying to say I'm sitting on the potty or I'm sitting in a coffee shop?
Sitting right, or sitting on a coffee table, at the coffee table, he must have just been sitting at coffee. I don't know.
He's
At a
having
coffee
coffee.
shop
He's at a
sounds
coffee
better.
shop. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but they say darling at the end of every sentence.
Uh,
So,
my note here is lots of passive aggressive darling.
yes,
Darling. Okay,
yeah,
darling. Yes.
yeah. So, where were you last night? Or where were you today? And she says, I was just over at Jay's, darling. And he's like, okay, darling. She's like, what? Nothing, darling. And then he's like, what about last night, darling? And then she says, I played football, darling. And he goes, anything else, darling? And she says, no, darling. And he says, you want to say anything else, darling? And she says, no, darling. And he says, I think so, darling.
Wow. Was she good? Oh, I forgot to tell you I banged Jay. Is that what you're referring to?
Right.
Slipped to my mind. Yeah.
It's so crazy. Like and it's so tense.
Yeah.
It made me so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So finally, she says, I did go to the pub with the boys last night,
Mhm.
darling.
And some
And
girls. And some girls.
that one girl.
Yeah.
And he hangs up on her. So that's great.
Me too.
So then he is boxing with his cousin and he's saying, I'm just so jealous. I trust her, but I don't trust other guys, which is always what they say, but you don't
Mhm.
trust her. Like,
Mhm.
obviously, she
Mhm.
has some impetus in this, if she
She has
bangs
free will
somebody
to
else.
say yes or
She
no.
has
Yeah.
free will.
Yeah.
So then he drops a Turkish saying, one girl, 100 people want this girl. Just one man, take this girl.
The Turkish saying I wrote down was, "If you have one woman, 1,000 men want her."
Okay, is that the official? Okay.
No, that was what I heard, but again,
No,
at that party, Sarper told me, "If you go to sleep with the blind, you wake up cross-eyed," and nobody knows what it means. So, yeah.
nobody. So I wish there was an animal in there. I feel like most of Sarper's sayings had like an animal, like a sheep or a duck. And I
Mhm.
think that
Mhm.
Mete needs to add just a couple, like
Yeah.
one girl, one elephant, 100 people with cats want this girl, and one man take this girl. They ride off on elephant. I don't know. So
I followed it. I
he's
followed it. Yeah.
Thank you. He
Mhm.
says that, Shannon is just as jealous as I am. And she told me last summer to quit the entertainment job. So I left Marmis and I moved to Istanbul. By the way, if I'm mispronouncing Marmis, I really apologize.
Yeah, we'll get it
Um,
right eventually. It's okay. It's
yeah.
first episode. Yeah.
So that's why he moved to Istanbul. And he doesn't go out with his friends anymore. We're not sure if he works now. But if she's going to go out, he's going to go out. So he's going to
Ooh.
call up the party boys. And his cousin is like, cousin, don't do anything rash. Like, you're going to make a bad decision here. And he's like, don't do anything rash. Like we say in Turkey, don't overcook the pasta, or one goat will marry one groundhog and eat pasta together like Lady and the Tramp. So Shannon is now packing to visit Mete. She tells Jay, because Jay is like there all the time while she's packing. I think they're just always in each other's apartments.
Yeah, that
And
would be fun if like your bestie lives wall to wall like that. Yeah.
yeah. So Jay says, she says to Jay, Mete has texted me. He said he's going to start going out with his friends more. And Jay is like, I'm just going to keep playing devil's advocate, not because I'm in love with you or anything, but just because I want to cause trouble. Maybe are you worried that he could cheat on you? And he is like, Jay says he's a party boy. And also, I have receipts. So there's this social media group called Love After Marmus, and it outs cheaters and scammers. And so he pulls out his phone and tries to show her the group. Like, just look at it, read it. And she's like, no, I don't want to see it. I know he's not like that. I don't even want to look. And
Love
besides, he
After
doesn't even,
Marmus. Wow.
yeah. So it reminds me of the girl from last season who was being cheated on, and then all those girls came together and said that he was also scamming them. But he wasn't from Turkey. I can't remember where he was from.
You're not talking about Johan, you're talking about
No, in Love in UK. The girl that was the brunette.
Yes.
And he was a scammer.
Yes. I remember now. Yes.
So she says he doesn't even live in Marmus anymore. So he can't be a Marmus scam artist.
Right.
And there are no Istanbul scam artists. So she says, just drop it. And there's like a little tension and defensiveness. And he says, she's just like a little sister to me. And I'm going to be there for you when you realize that you have been scammed and your life falls apart. I will be there for you.
Wow.
Because I love you and you're my little sister. But I also am maybe in love with you. Still too soon to tell. So he says, there are just so many people out there looking for a visa. And I was like, that's pushy because she just told you to drop it. And he's still pushing.
Well, he's like, we're filming a TV show here. I'm not going to drop it.
I'm not going to drop it. The producers are telling me to keep going.
I need a storyline. Let's go.
Yeah. So I need to land my spot on the reunion. So
totally.
I need to make an impact.
Yeah, totally.
So she says, well, I do want to get him a visiting visa so he can come here and visit, because they're like too soon for the marriage type visa. She's like, I would love to get him a visiting visa, but maybe he'd come here to visit me and he'd fall in love with another British girl and leave me. You never know what could happen.
Wow. Okay. She sounds positive about the relationship.
Yeah. And in Jay's talking head, he says, Shannon, good luck. You're going to need it. Like, wow, Jay.
But I always and this is just my, attractive people bias, I guess, just as we are all like, oh, that person's attractive, so they couldn't be XYZ or whatever. Shannon's very attractive.
You had the opposite of Katie.
Oh.
Because Katie does not trust a good-looking man. She hates them on sight, hates them and distrusts them.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Are we to believe she's got a very unattractive husband? Is that what you're saying?
No, it's weird. She's like, she didn't trust him for a long time. Okay. We thought he might be a white supremacist because he has weird tattoos. We thought he might be a potential murderer.
Okay.
And my speech at their wedding was all about if he killed her and we had to do Dateline.
Right.
Well, I had to do Dateline. She would be dead. We didn't trust him for a long time because he is good looking.
If Oliver kills Katie, I'd like to jump in as the co-host at Date with Dateline.
Absolutely. Sure.
Okay. Yeah, I'll ditch Pink Shade in a minute. Just kidding. Yeah. I'm just kidding. I'd do both. Okay. It'd be called Pink Dateline. Okay. So my point is Shannon is very attractive, 25 years old. Mete, in my opinion, very attractive, 32 years old. So in my mind, they're both super attractive. Why would they scam each other? They're about the same age. They're age appropriate. So surely it will be fine. But his jealousy is going to be a problem. But we see this a lot in sort of Middle Eastern men. Sometimes they get very jealous, especially if their partner is very westernized, as it was,
Right.
So we'll see what happens here. But in my mind, they're both good looking and age appropriate. So I'm sure it'll be fine.
Now, see, that's interesting because, like, someone like Usman doesn't I don't know why he chose women that were so much older than him who could
He
not give him
they
children
they chose
because
him. They chose him.
they
What can he
they
do?
chose him.
What can
But,
he
like,
do?
I'm sure he's could get offers from girls his own age in
Mhm,
America that could bring him to America.
mhm.
But, um so Mete, I don't think if you're gonna scam someone to get a green card,
Yeah,
why not pick someone that's also hot if you have that option that you might
true,
like having sex with? But I don't think he's trying
true.
to scam her. He does seem to love her. We haven't seen them together yet, so I'm actually put a pin in that. I'm not
Yeah,
sure yet.
because you just don't hear much about Turkish scammers. But
No.
maybe this is a new level of scammer we don't know about because maybe Turkish scammers target UK women and we hear about Nigerian scammers targeting the US women. So
Mhm.
maybe we haven't delved deep enough into Turkish scammers. But I'm going into they're not scammers. They're both attractive, so everything's fine.
So happily ever after.
Happily ever
Um
after. Why are they even on the show? Yeah.
Yeah. Also, I think there are scammers everywhere, but I also think the UK people have the same problem the US people have, which is people from that don't live here think that it's way better than it actually is. And
Yes.
then when they come, they think they're living in London or LA or New York, and then they're living in Poop Town, Wyoming.
They're living in Pooptown, Wyoming, and they can't get a bartending job. Yeah. All of
Right.
that is
And
correct.
everything
Yes.
costs so much money. And they
Yeah.
didn't understand that even though you're making more, everything is
Everything costs
horrible.
more. Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
and everything's horrible.
Whew.
So, um, she is now on her way to the airport, and Mete isn't answering her calls or texts. She's super stressed. She doesn't want to get on the plane because he won't answer her calls. She
Mhm.
flies all the way to Istanbul. Mete not at the airport to meet her. So she is standing by herself. She talks to her mom. She's like, I'm so angry. I'm embarrassed. I still love him though. I don't know what to do. And
Mhm.
she's like, I would never do this to someone. I would never leave someone in a foreign country by themselves. And she starts crying. And I was like, girl, you are too pretty and too good at soccer to put up with this insecure little man with the high pitched voice. I don't know if this is a Matt Sharp fake out. I think it is because we see a preview where they're togetell.
Obviously,
So
th it's the fake out, yes.
um he maybe is just late, but he's not answering her calls or her texts. His voicemail, it goes right to voicemail. Um this I was mad for her. I
I
was
think he's
like,
just being a jerk to teach her a lesson, but
yeah,
guess what? It's not gonna
that's
go
petty.
it's not gonna
Petty.
go over well with the production and the film crew who are also standing there waiting,
Yeah,
you
that's
know?
true.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good point.
They're gonna
Mhm.
be like, "Oh, well, this guy's gonna be hard to work with," you know?
Uh-huh.
Okay, let's move on to, I've got Ebrima, Ebrima, but his name is Ibrahim, but she calls him Ebrima. Is that
This
right?
could be one of those things where the American slash UK person pronounces the name however they want to.
Yeah, and we're looking at you, Stevie and Maddie, and that's fine because
That's fine.
his name is Mahdi, and she calls him Maddie, and she says he's always been fine with it, and if he's
Right.
fine with it, we're fine with it. But
Exactly.
Ebrima and Zena, we don't get much with
Oh,
him.
you know who we're actually talking about
Yeah,
is uh
Azan and Nicole.
no, it'll come to
His
me.
name was Hazan, and she called him Azan.
No, I'm thinking of she wore all the
Yes, uh-huh,
Nikki and Igor, who she renamed Justin
Justin.
because she wanted him to be like Justin Timberlake,
She
and
thought he looked like Justin Timberlake a little bit. Yeah,
which he didn't.
uh-huh.
But more egregious was that she never called him by his actual name and had Americanized his name from Igor to Justin.
Sometimes when she got mad at him, she'd be like, "Okay, Igor," like, she'd get
Yeah, like
all mad. Yeah,
mocking him
yeah,
by his real name.
yeah. Oh, Nikki. Okay,
Nikki.
we're not gonna get much about Abrima this episode, so if I'm saying his name wrong, then I'll fix it by next episode, guys, okay? The first one, we're always just sort of working out the kinks.
Yeah.
Um, but we meet Zena. She's 65. She's from Oxted in the UK, and she says she loves showing off and being perfect, and she can't help but look in the mirror because look at her. And, she wishes she was born rich and not beautiful, but you can't have it all. We get lots of shots of her
Wow.
dancing up in a club in her sensible work clothes. Like she is in like a Sean Robinson sheath from a reunion and some sensible pumps just on a pole and just twerking. Now, Kimberly, here's a hard truth I'm going to need
Love
you to
the
tell me.
confidence. Yeah.
Do I look like Zena?
No.
Because when I was watching it, I got really concerned that
No.
she and I looked alike.
First of all, you're 10 years younger than she is. At least.
9. I'm 9
Okay.
years younger than her. Yeah.
No, absolutely not.
Are you sure? Because
Yes,
there's a glimmer in your
1000%.
mind. There's a glimmer in
No.
your mind that's like, kinda.
Absolutely not, because you put the work in. I know you do the procedures and the lights and the creams
I
and the
do.
Hello Lash
I
Pink
do.
Shade 50, and I know that you're
It's
putting the
currently Pink Shade 20.
Pink Shade 20,
Yep.
apologies.
Yeah, okay.
It's still worth it even with
Mhm.
20% off.
Totally.
Zena has, this confidence that, is inspired, but also strange and not warranted. But, good for her.
Yep.
You are gorgeous and go to these parties with the 90-day people, and I'd be
Mm.
like, "Who is that supermodel over there?"
Oh,
And
sure.
then
Yes.
if Zena was there, I'd be like, "Why is my grandma twerking?" Um, she I love her spirit. I love that she thinks she is beautiful.
Me
We are
too.
all beautiful,
Yes. I love
but
her
some of us are
confidence.
less beautiful than others.
Listen, I love her confidence. I love her confidence. I love that she's just like, I can hardly go by a mirror and not even like look at how beautiful I am. And I think that's great. I do. But when they were showing her dancing in her work dress and twerking and things, I was like, oh
In her, like,
no.
shapewear dress. It's too
Yeah.
tight, her dress.
Too tight.
Um,
She looks like she just came off a business meeting where they were like, lady, your dress is too tight. And she's dancing up into
she
club
was at a
and
conference, some conference for, like, medical equipment sales or
yeah.
something,
Mhm.
and yeah, stepped off the plane at the club and is dancing with the 20-year-olds, and they're, like, grinding up on her, and that makes her feel sexy.
It's
Maybe because she
something.
buys them a lot of drinks or something,
Could be.
but, I think she doesn't look 65. I don't think she looks 65.
I agree.
That sh She looks much younger, I think, but she could look at younger because she loves procedures, but I think she's not doing enough or the right
She
ones.
hasn't done anything on her face. She could use,
Yes.
a laser treatment or a neck lift
Yeah.
or something, but she said that's next on her list.
Well, then I
Um,
think she'll look great, and then the confidence might match everything else.
well, here's the thing, Zena tells us her favorite music is reggae, but she loves all kinds of music, and then she lists all the music. I was like, "We got it. We understand all
We
the
like our
genres." Yeah,
music.
yeah. Then she meets her friend Lisa, who says that, she's almost finished getting her new screw-in teeth. So, what she is getting is all
Should
new
she
teeth,
be
but they're implants.
veneers?
Implants screw into the bone. So
I
I
was wondering what she meant because the way she made it sound was like dentures. It's like,
no.
God, I love, that you are getting new dentures and think that you're super sexy. We should all feel that good.
No,
But she meant like
implants,
full on implants.
and
Okay. But I
that's
didn't notice her
super
teeth
super
even.
expensive.
Did you even
Um,
notice what
yeah,
her teeth look like?
they look like veneers. They look just like nice kind of decent to perfect teeth. But it's interesting that she's doing them one by one as implants instead of veneers. Um, it was wild, but she's talking about how bad it hurts. My sister had to have an implant, and I mean, anybody that's ever had to have an implant in their mouth knows how it is a screw
Ugh.
into. I mean, it's bad. It's really bad.
Ugh.
But it's
Get a
interesting.
facelift instead.
I mean, that's what I'm saying, or have them do it when you're passed out for your facelift. So
Uh-huh. All at once.
she tells us she's had a boob job, a tummy tuck, a nose job. She's thinking about next the neck lift. And Lisa goes, "Ah, you're like Chris Jenner." And she goes, "Or Cher." I was like, "Okay, good one." Because well, probably closer to the age of Chris Jenner. So she says, "I'm not really attracted to young guys or super old guys. The young guys have auntie fetishes," which I had to put the closed caption on to figure out what she said. She said auntie fetishes. but she's met a nice gentleman named Ibrahim. Ibrahim is 44. And Lisa goes, well, that's younger than your daughter. And she goes, I know, but I can't, the old guys, with the beer guts and wanting to go to bed early, I can't deal with that. So she met Ibrahim. He's a waiter in a hotel in the Gambia. Now, I don't know what the Gambia is, but it is obviously a country in Africa. Okay.
Yes.
She met
A
him when she
small
was
country.
a small country. She was in Africa on holiday. And on that trip, they had a few dates and now they have a relationship. And Lisa says, you're traveling halfway around the world for a cock. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And she says,
Also,
yes.
he is Black. And
Yes.
she did say her favorite music is reggae music. So I'm immediately thinking sex tourist, like, wants a Black man.
Well, when we saw the picture of him, I was like, oh, he must be from Jamaica. And that's why she told us reggae music.
Right.
But no, he's from Africa. So, all right.
Mhm.
So, she's calling him on the phone and she tells us, yes, there is an age gap between us, but I don't really see it. He has such an intellectual outlook on the life that he seems way older. He speaks 3 languages and people say I'm a visa vagina. That's a new one. Visa
I
vagina is
love it.
the visa
I
vagina is a new one.
love it.
Yeah. She says, a sex tourist. And she goes, I'm not a sex tourist. If I wanted it in England, I could get it, even at my age. Then they
What?
do the most savage cut that we've seen on one of these shows where she says, I could still get it even at my age. And then they show her in one of those staircase chairs that you press the button and the stair goes up the stairs for you.
Stop it.
She is sitting in the chair and presses the button and it goes right up as she goes, I can still get it even if I want it. And then she's in one of those.
God bless the editors.
So funny. Now she's at her mother's house, but that was funny. That was funny editing.
I'm dead. I missed it completely. Brutal. That's brutal.
It's brutal editing.
They might as well have her go, I can still get it. And then holding up a box of Depends. Which no shame in any of this. You should still feel sexy at this age.
Oh, it's so funny. So anyway, we meet her mom. Her mom's name is Ethel, I believe. Yes, Ethel. And she's quite an Ethel. And she's cute. And she says, my mom is 95 and going blind. So I come over and after we have dinner and she goes to bed, I will clean her flat for her. And mom says, oh, how's your dating life? And she's, are you still dating Ibrahim? And she goes, yes, mom, it's going well. And she goes, well, he's a really ugly bloke. And
what the Ethel?
Zena says, people think my mom is just so rude and has dementia, but no, she's always been this way.
She's just a bitch.
She's just a bitch. Then mom continues and says, oh, you must have shit in your eyes or be blind to think he's a good looking bloke.
Like me, I am also blind. Isn't she blind?
She did make a joke about having shit in your eyes or being blind when she, in fact, is blind.
Is Ethel blind?
Ethel's blind, yes.
So she can't see if he's an ugly bloke or not.
Well, she can see the outline. That's all she needs.
Yeah.
So she says, well, my mom doesn't like him. She only really likes English men or men she's known her entire life. So
I think she's trying to not say racist.
I think she's trying not to say my mom is a raging racist. And please, this is the only time we're filming in her apartment because I don't know what she's going to say next.
Yeah.
Right. So she tells her mom, she goes, oh, mom, he treats me like a queen. There's no notice of our age. And mom is funny and drops the rude part. But then she goes, okay, I understand that you love him, but please don't leave me. Please don't move to the Gambia. The talking head Ethel says, I can read between the lines. And she doesn't love him and nothing will come of it. Although, I hope for her sake it does because I do love her to bits. And I do like that she cleans my apartment once a week. Okay?
Right.
That's what I like. Yeah.
But speaking of ugly, she is ugly. And I cannot even see.
Everybody here's ugly. This camera crew is ugly. I don't know who that lady is in the cargo shorts. That's not befitting for a woman.
Do you know how ugly you have to be for a blind lady to know that you are ugly? Extremely ugly.
Get out of my apartment. Take the chair, stair, wealth thing, elevator, and get out of here in slow motion. So, okay, so Zena tells us she's had 3 long-term relationships and has 4 children, 7 grandchildren, and 1 great-grandchild. So, I would
Wow.
like to do some math here, okay? My parents were married, and had kids young, in their 20s, right? My parents are currently 85 and 87. They have 8 grandchildren, my parents. 8 grandchildren. The last 2 are Anna and John. 8 grandchildren. They have 3 and soon to be 4 great grandchildren. My parents are 85 and 87, married very young, and then their kids, except for me, had kids pretty young. So to be they're 85 and 87. I'm saying to be 65 with great grandchildren is a math game. So let's think about this. My oldest sister is 62. She has 2 grandkids. Her
Okay.
grandkids are 4 and 2.
Oh, so they're not having kids anytime
So
soon.
how could this woman be almost my sister's same age and have great grandchildren?
Well, my college roommate was from the teen pregnancy capital of California,
Oh, nice.
and, she would get calls from her parents in college, and she would like, "Who's pregnant now? Who's pregnant now?" And then when we turned 30, she found out one of the guys she went to high school with became a grandparent at 30, um, because they're super into breaking the cycle of teen
So it's like
par
at 15 you had a baby and then that
Yeah,
15-year-old
you
had a
got
baby?
pregnant at 14, you had a baby at 15. Yeah, twice. So, it's possible that there were some very young she said she had he's 44, which is younger than her daughter. So, that means that
She has a daughter that's 45,
right, which would mean and she's 65, so she had that daughter at 20.
20. And so then if that
So,
daughter then had a daughter at 20,
20,
yeah,
then that would be grandparent, and then another at 20 would be great-grandparent. Now, I take back everything I said
I
about
don't think the math adds up. I really
um,
don't.
but can we if we're saying this is true, I do take back everything I said about her not being super hot, because if you put it in the lens of she's a great-grandparent, she's
Yeah.
smoking.
Yeah.
Smoking.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
She
Well,
could be in a calendar for great-grandmas.
so then this is what I wrote. Okay. So let's say she had a kid at 19, and then when she was 39, that kid was now 20 and had a kid. And then when she was 59, that kid had a kid. It could work out, but it's real tight on the
It's
19 to
tight.
20-year-olds.
Also, did you subscribe to Pink Shade to hear math talk? Because you're welcome.
I'm gonna tell you something, guys. I say it all the time. I majored in English literature, and I cried tears of joy on the last day of my last math class in college, and I made a D, and I've never been happier. Okay, so this one daughter and granddaughter, whose names we get later, Zoe and Tilly,
Beautiful. They're both beautiful.
beautiful and seem, dare I say, kind of classy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the daughter, Zoe and Tilly, and the granddaughter are sitting there and they're like, tell us all about Ebram's life. And it sounds like he lives in a desolate, poor area. And they're like, why is he single? And she was like, well, he lives in this terrible area. Like he never wanted to get married and not be able to afford to have a wife. He's never had any money. And so they're like, huh. And in the talking head, she says, well, yes, of course, I'm very generous with my money. She says she's bought him a mattress, a phone, and sends money for his birthday. So I was like, okay, a mattress, that's really nice. So she's like
Mhm.
literally done, and a phone so we can communicate with her. And if she's sending money for his birthday, that's like how many times has she been with him since he's had a birthday, right?
Right.
Once. So this daughter says, so you don't think you're a target? And the granddaughter goes, look, you could be one of 4 women that is buying him a mattress and a phone and sending him money, and he could
Mhm.
have a different birthday every week or whatever.
Mhm.
And Zena says, No, I don't really have money. So why would he target me? I don't have a lot of money. He's never asked for these things. I asked if he needed it money, food, this mattress. I asked if he needed it and he sent it. I'm pretty sure he probably mentioned that he slept on the floor or he
Uh-huh.
wasn't able to eat last week or,
Yeah.
yeah,
First of all, scam artists do not care how wealthy you are. They will
yeah,
take whatever little you have.
yeah. Great point.
Also, they are very good at asking without actually asking.
Right.
So, they will make you think that it was your idea to give them
Totally.
money.
Totally. So, the daughter, Zoe, says, I don't think she's thinking straight, but I hope for her sake she's going to prove us wrong. But I don't have a great feeling about it. So she's
Mhm.
like, listen, as long as I don't have to go over and talk to Ethel, because
Yeah.
wow. Um,
By the
s-
way, we're not saying that people from I would just wanna put a blanket statement that we've been talking about scam artists a lot. We're not saying that scam artists are always from other countries or everyone from other countries are scam artists. There are some primo scam artists in the United States
oh
and the
yeah.
UK.
Yeah. Look at Jen Shaw.
Yeah,
Listen, just listen to Queen of the Con. They've got lots of them on there.
watch any Dateline or, like,
Yeah,
any
right.
Hulu
Yeah.
special about
Yes.
these Romeo scam
Tinder
artists.
swindlers, all that stuff.
Mhm.
Dirty John. Good
Mhm.
example. Yeah, scam artists come from all over and they can be women just as well as men.
Absolutely.
So now Zena tells us she lives
Girl
in a
power.
retirement community. She lives in a retirement community and she's the youngest
I
one there.
died. She's such humble bragging that she's the youngest one there.
She's the youngest one there. She goes, they didn't really like me at first because I was young here. And she's probably also trying to screw all their husbands.
Uh-huh.
Um, and she says, but now I've taken up gardening and making the place look nice. And so now all the elderly like me. So that's good. So she calls her best friend and she calls her best friend. Now he she boyfriend, so sorry. She calls her boyfriend and he tells her, Ibram tells her, you're gonna need to stop drinking alcohol. Like you're gonna need to stop doing that. And she goes, yeah. I've been reading the Quran and I've been thinking about it. Yeah. Well, we just saw you up in the club with Lisa last night talking about
Yeah.
traveling for cock and getting a facelift. So I don't think you're thinking about any of this. And she says that Ibram is a practicing Muslim and he can have 4 wives and 4 sex slaves if he wanted to. I'm so sorry. Are we still in the times of 4 wives and 4 sex slaves? Is that current times we're doing that? I don't think
I
so.
am is that what happens in the Gambia? Because
I
I don't think so.
I don't
But maybe.
I think she got an outdated version of the Quran and
Yeah.
maybe she needs the new abridged version.
Yeah.
Um,
But also why is she so sure she's the only girlfriend then? If
exactly.
he's could already be practicing polygamy
Right.
before they're even married.
She says he would never do that. He couldn't put up with that. Like who's got time?
Yeah.
And so then he goes, listen, you know what I've been talking to you about buying the taxi? And she's like, what? And he goes, yeah, I'm going to buy the taxi. So I need 3,000 pounds. And she goes, what? So I mean, that is like $4,000, right? Yeah. I mean, yeah. And he goes, or it's $2,800. I don't know. Again, math. And
Yeah.
he anyway, it's a lot of money. And he goes,
Yeah.
so yeah, I'm going to need that money. And she goes, I don't have that. And he goes, it's a business investment for me, for my business, which means I'm never ever moving there because I'm starting a business here.
Right.
And she goes,
Good point.
I don't have that money at the moment. And the talking head, she says, look, I do have the money. No, she says, I look like I have the money, but I don't. Look at these teeth. Am I right? She
I
says,
look again, why is she I love her confidence.
yeah. She's
I
like,
look like I have money.
I look like I have money. But if I took out a loan to help him with this and then he disappears, I'm going to be on the hook to pay it all back. And I need that money for retirement. And I'm dubious, but I would like to help him. And then as she's talking to him, going, I really don't have it. It's like, my internet. Oh, I'm in an elevator. Oh, I lost you. Click. Yeah. Call cuts off.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was like, gotta call. I gotta roll the
I
calls. I
gotta
gotta
call
roll the
girlfriend
calls.
number 4 if
Yeah.
you're not giving me the money for the
Yeah. Yeah.
taxi.
I gotta roll the calls. I called you first
Yeah.
because you look the richest.
in
But
my
apparently,
phone tree.
gotta go. Gotta roll calls. Gotta roll them. And that is the end of those two.
Wait, did you notice Zena's hero shot? She's doing this like old-fashioned dance move like this or something.
No, I did not.
It's really weird.
All I'm going to tell you this is the new HEA. When we're recording this, you haven't seen it yet, but when this comes out, we would have seen a couple of weeks of HEA. I can't wait to discuss with you. Have you watched it, HEA yet?
No.
Gino's hero shot.
Oh no. Does he take his hat off?
No, he's like, hey,
Oh no.
ladies, get a load of this.
Absolutely no.
Yeah,
Absolutely not.
and he's like lifting his hat up, like,
No.
woo.
No.
So okay, let's move on to Adnand and Shorna.
Oh boy. Oh
Mm.
God. Okay, Shorna. If bad decisions came in a gorgeous woman's body.
She is gorgeous. So is her
yeah.
daughter. Yes.
Yeah. So Shorna is 45. She looks like a housewife. She works out. She has a bomb body. She has perfect skin,
Yep.
clothes, hair, makeup. It's all perfection.
All of it.
She had a daughter at 21, but she humble brags that she looked so young that people thought she was a teen mom.
Yep.
I believe that.
I believe that.
So she met Adnand, which is how she pronounces it, Adnand, when she was on holiday in Greece. And he works at the hotel. They had a fling. Now, I'm pretty sure she said they were having sex in the elevator. I put on the subtitles, still could not understand. She said there was a big elevator and they were going at it and then went to the room. But I think she was saying they were having sex in the elevator. Unsure, because a friend makes a joke about the elevator later, the lift.
Oh, okay.
So they were anyway very sexual on their trip. He's 25, so he has lots of energy. So 20 years difference. But it feels real. It feels like a real relationship. Now her daughter is her best friend and is super sassy and does not approve of this. She says, "You're a MILF. I think you're a sugar mama. I think there's no way that he's not cheating on you while he's back there and in Greece, and this is a disaster. Mom, you're embarrassing me on TV." And she says, he doesn't know the real you. Everyone has secrets. And you're like, what?
Secrets.
And then she's like, you could be a murderer. She says that about her mom. Yeah. And then I was like thinking he would be a murderer, but she's saying even the mom could be a murderer. You don't know anyone. You never really know anyone. And he might be hiding something because you're hiding something. Dun dun.
Yeah, this is like right away where I was like, wow. What is it? Is she, I was like, was she a convicted felon and she's turned her life around, or she secretly has adopted 400 cats? Like, what is it?
Right. And so they're playing with you, and she's saying like the long distance relationship really was very hard and it wasn't providing me with enough. He wasn't able to give me enough. So I'm like, oh, she turned to someone else. And then she says, I've met someone else. And then I thought, oh, it's a girl.
Yeah,
she's bi, and she's also dating a girl on the side, and he doesn't know about it.
Yeah.
And she says, he always protects me. And I was like, oh, so it's not a girl. And he shows me unconditional love, and he's always there for me.
Sugar daddy.
This is when do you know that I went to an AI boyfriend? I thought the way she's saying he's always there for me, it felt very Big Brother. And I was like, she is obsessed and has spent thousands of dollars on those online boyfriends that people are doing now. And it's like,
I've never heard of such.
It's an AI boyfriend who like you subscribe to like an app or whatever. I don't know if it's real yet or if I just saw it on Law and Order SVU, but they send you texts and chat. How are you today, sweetie? Send you flowers on your birthday. Of course, it's with your own credit card. You can text them and ask how you're, and they'll be like, how are you doing? I'm so sorry. Cause there's AI therapists now too. So you can talk to Chat GPT and it will give you life advice and listen to your problems and such. So this is a boyfriend who does the same thing, and it's all fake. So that's what I thought. And I thought, oh, she spent a ton of money on this and her heart is now interested in Mr. I Robot, Robert
Okay.
Robot.
Uh-huh.
Robert Robot would be a good name.
Yeah, that's
So
good.
this is what I was thinking. So that, and we are seeing her walking, and she's walking in slow-mo, and then this young hottie at a cafe looks up and smiles at her. So you're like, oh, that's the guy. She totally is another boyfriend.
Yeah.
And then she keeps walking, and she walks into a church, and she says, he's God. My new person who is there for me and is always watching and judging is God.
It's Joseph
I have
Smith. Yeah.
it's I have become a Mormon.
Mhm.
And so we see her, she's reading the Book of Mormon in a church. She says, I really wanted a family-oriented church. And
Mhm.
one day I saw a post on social media, which is where you should find your religion. And
She's lucky
it
that day she didn't come
sucked her
across
in.
Scientology.
I
She's
mean,
lucky that day Scientology didn't hit up her algorithm because God knows where she'd be. She could have
I was
joined
thinking
Nexium.
I was just gonna say she's lucky Keith Raniere wasn't on or
Yeah.
wasn't going live that day.
Yeah, totally.
She saw a post, it sucked her in. She fell in love with the religion. It had to make her change her lifestyle because she was partying and drinking and dressing with her boobs out and her butt out a lot, and they don't
Mhm.
approve of that. They believe in more modest clothing and no alcohol and no sex. And we hear these like chimes of the church being like, dun, dun. It's like an organ, like, and it's like God's
Yeah,
judgment
yeah,
is
yeah.
cast upon you and your vagina and is like, don't do what you're doing.
Mhm.
So, and remember, they were boning in an elevator before.
Right.
So,
Love in an elevator. Mhm.
yeah. So she has not told Adnand about the Mormon thing and that they can't have sex anymore.
Um, a couple of things here. My closed captioning was calling the Mormons the moments. My closed
Yeah.
captioning is over and over the
A
moments.
Mormon
Now
moment.
the Mormon moment. This is your Mormon moment with
Mhm.
Mary Payne and Kimberly. And
Mhm.
also, has she watched Secret Lives of Mormon Wives? Real Housewives Salt Lake City? You can do Mormon 2.0.
Yeah.
You make your own rules, girl.
Yeah. Or you can write a book called Bad Mormon and be shunned. It's
Listen,
lots of stuff goes on.
lots of
It's
ways to do it, girl. But she's a new Mormon, so she's trying to be an overachiever.
right, exactly. I just think 45 is a funny age to like join such a strict religion.
It is.
It's like
It is.
45 just seem like a late age to join a cult. I feel like they're most like bringing on younger people, but I could be wrong. Maybe like a midlife crisis age is perfect to join a religion or a
Yeah.
cult or um
Remember
maybe
Misha?
older people join. Well, she joined Catholicism.
Yeah, that's a strict religion. She joined
A
a
very
strict
strict
and
religion.
she went
That's true.
all the way right with it. She was like, "How far can I go to
Yeah.
yield Catholicism without being a
Yeah.
nun? How far can I go?"
Yeah.
And she went that far.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's absolutely true. And maybe they do get people in life change, like your early 20s where you're lost, you don't know what you're doing,
Yeah.
your mid 40s where you might be going through a midlife crisis, you might be
Yeah.
becoming an empty nester, your kids are moving out, or
Mhm.
maybe like your 60s, 70s when you're like trying to find out like the end of your life. Not
Yeah.
end of your life, but your next God bless 25 years that you have left or whatever, that
Mhm.
you want to know what comes next or what do I do? Yeah, I could see that. Okay, so anybody can join a religion or a cult at any age. Okay.
At any point you can join. Yes.
I just convinced myself.
Okay.
So she goes to church to pray, and
Mhm.
then she goes out with her friends who are very much doubting, and they are just skeptical Sallies, which good for them.
Mhm.
And she's like gonna try to tell them that this is a great thing and their relationship is great, and they're like, no, no. And one says, you might think your connection is real, but nah. And then the other friend
That's
goes,
me. Is that real or nah? Yeah.
nah. And then it cuts to the other friend who goes, nah. His other friend is just like the sidekick,
Yeah.
the like on the talk show, like the one that's sitting on
Yeah.
the like the couch. That's
Yeah.
yeah,
The
nah.
Ed McMahon.
Yeah, nah.
On the couch.
So she admits that she has not told Adnan about the Mormon thing because the Book of Mormon told her that it's cool with lying, I guess. It's
But
fine.
how long has she been with him that she's gotten so into a brand new religion and not told
Religion.
him? It
Right.
was like 2 months after her trip, she was like, "I feel awful about what I did on that trip. I feel like such a sinner. I shouldn't have done that. Maybe I should try to find a church to ask some forgiveness." And then she goes
Right.
full hardcore Mormon and
Right.
doesn't tell him?
Because she hasn't visited him clearly in the time that
Right,
she joined the religion. So how
right.
long does it take to get super into a religion?
Just 2 days,
A couple
apparently.
days
Yeah, a couple
maybe.
days.
So, yeah, I would like a timeline on their relationship.
Yeah.
So she's the friends are like, he is 25, aka he's super horny. He is not going to be okay with this sex stuff.
Yeah.
And then she says, I know it's going to be really hard because, when I visit him, we can't even stay in the same house. And they're like, the same room or the same house? She's like, no, not the same house. We
Um,
can't.
okay. All right.
So the one that talks, says he's going to want to go up in that lift, up and down, up and down, up and down.
And she means Love in an Elevator Part
Love in
2.
an elevator.
Yeah.
And they say, you know what? You really need to be honest before you go. And she says, no, I really think it's something I should tell him in person. And the other friend just goes, good luck.
Her friends are like, "You're stupid. Bye-bye."
Bye. So then we meet Adnand, who is 25. He's Albanian and he lives in Greece, but his dream is to live in the UK.
You know
The
who else is
money and
who else is Albanian? Florian.
Florian.
What the hell you think? What the fuck is this?
What the fuck is this?
What the fuck is this Mormon? Like, why you do that? That's stupid. Adnand, no. Stupid. Yeah.
So his dream is to live in the UK. The money and the life is good. He dreams of, and it shows him, he's sitting in a hot tub, and then above him, they do a lot of graphics on this show, stuff they do not do on our 90 day. In the his dream. I don't know how to explain it. In the corner of the screen, it's like he's dreaming of what we're seeing, and as he's saying it, we're seeing images of it pop up. He's dreaming of London Bridge, the Arsenal soccer team, the big buses, Nando's chicken. I love you, chicken.
Yeah, he gets real interested in Nando's chicken. Now I've had Nando's chicken. It's good, but
wow,
it's not worth moving countries for. He does live in Greece. It's pretty good.
I'm sure they have great chicken in Greece.
I
love you, Nando's chicken. So he loves everything about Shorna and the UK. It's always the UK and Shorna. So he tells his friend Giuliano that Shorna is so sexy. He loves older women. And when he first saw her, he saw her from behind. Saw her shape, he loves her body, and they have a lot of sex. And Giuliano, who has the ugliest Hitler Youth haircut I've ever seen, is like, oh, how excited are you to see the UK? And also Shorna.
Shorna.
He's like, I'm so excited to see the UK and Shorna as well.
And he goes, I'm so excited to have some chicken and see the London Bridge and harvest the British dollar and see Shorna.
Sure. Yeah. And his friend goes, what are you going to do there? He's like, I'm just going to walk around and be like, I'm in the UK. I'm going to see the bridge. I'm going to eat the chicken, the Nando's chicken. It's spicy, but not hot. They're like talking about the chicken more than they're talking about Shorna. And so then he's like, but I'm so excited to see Shorna. Maybe we'll have a baby. Like, does Shorna and her 45-year-old uterus know about this plan?
Does her 26-year-old daughter know about this plan? Yeah. No.
So she is reading the Book of Mormon and then packing for her trip. And she says, he's Muslim, but he doesn't really practice. So I can easily convert him to Mormonism.
They're very similar. And I'm sure he would just have no problem flipping over from being a Muslim to being a Mormon.
Right. They're two M words, so it's fine.
It's not hard.
He'll love that.
Mhm.
And her daughter says, "You are delusional. Good luck." So everyone's just like, I can't. They've obviously already tried to convince her, and
Yeah.
Shorna is not listening. She has the spirit of Joseph Smith in her, and
Yes,
she
she
is
does.
going on this
Mhm.
Mecca,
Mhm.
and she is going to bring her lover home. I don't know what the plan is, and they're all just like, "Good luck. I can't with you anymore."
She's like, "I saw Book of Mormon in the West End, and I decided that's for me. That's for me, and I'll see you
Do you
suckers
know in
later."
1978 God changed his mind about black people?
It's crazy, Shorna. I hope you know about that. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Did we mention Shorna's black?
Yeah.
Um, and beautiful.
She's so gorgeous, and they were showing her body, and she was doing those ropes things that people do. I'm like, I
Yes.
would pop one of those ropes up into my face so fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's a
Knock a
CrossFit
tooth
thing.
out, and then you'd
Yes.
need one of those screw-in teeth that Zena has.
Yeah. Speaking of missing tooth, I did spot one empty hole in Shorna's mouth.
Really?
Yeah, it was just in the
Oh,
back.
well, she can't be a housewife until she gets that fixed.
Yeah, she's gotta get a screw-in tooth or a retainer to just fill that hole.
Pop it, a little
Yeah.
flipper. Yeah.
Mhm.
I
When my
mean, this woman is stunning.
She is. When my sister was waiting for her screw-in tooth, she had a flipper, so it's her front tooth. She knocked it out literally, like, in 4th grade on a Coke bottle,
Mhm.
like, really.
Mhm.
On the Coke bottle on the playground in 4th grade. So in 4th grade, she was on a seesaw with a Coke bottle, and
Oh
somebody,
god.
like, jumped off the other end, and yeah. So her tooth has always been like that, so she finally just got it fixed, like, it had problems. But so anyway, in the time that she was waiting, because it's like a three-step process, like, you have to get the area prepared, then you have to wait 2 months, and then you have to do, like, a pretend and it because it's all about the infection and things that could happen. So when she was in the middle of the process, they made her a retainer with the tooth in it, so it looked like her teeth. So when you go to a restaurant to eat, she had to take it out.
You have to take it out, yeah.
And I was like, "Don't look at me while you're eating." She's like, "What do you want me to do? I have to be able to
Oh,
eat."
poor
I was like,
thing.
"Don't look at me with that tooth hole in your mouth. Disgusting."
I had a friend in theater school who had one of those, and she would take it out to do certain characters,
Oh.
like a character that wouldn't have a front tooth, and then she'd put it back in the rest of the time.
Do you tell her she could be a character on Love After Lockup? She'd be
Exactly.
welcome. She'd be welcome.
Perfect. Just with the neck tattoo, she'd be
Just
perfect.
draw it on. Draw it
Yeah.
on. Um, well, that's it, guys. We have 3 more couples that we haven't met, and, no, 4. We have 4 couples that we haven't met. I missed one. We've got
We know
Fi
there's a Sarah and a Sandra.
Finn and Sandra, Sam and Allie, Sarah and Marco, sorry, and Ara and Andy. And Ara and Andy are you, and the other 3 are me. So, Ara and Andy are the ones that have quite a height difference, let's say.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
So, I didn't give them to I didn't choose anybody on usually I assign if it's people that we already know, I will
Mhm.
usually sometimes give Kimberly the short end of the stick on the assignment.
Mhm.
And pick the people that I like more.
Yeah,
But on this, I have nothing to go on other than we already knew Sam and Ali, so I just did. I went through the
yeah.
Instagram slide and said, "You take the first 3, I'll take the next 4," and that's how it landed. That was my speaking of
Oh,
math, that's how
boy.
I did it. All right, guys. So, like I said at the beginning, this episode 1 is on the free feed as a bonus. If you like 90 Day UK and want to hear the rest, episode 2 and 3 will already be over there on the $10 feed because they put out episode 1, 2, 3 together, which was so great when they do that. It's just so great to kind of pre-record 3 episodes.
No,
In
I
case
love
of Love
it.
is Blind, they do
Yeah.
10. It's so fun. Um,
Mhm.
and then they'll be out weekly after that, and you will find the rest of them 2 through however many over on $10 Pink Shade Prime. Kimberly has a podcast, if you're not familiar, I don't know, maybe you're living under a rock, but it's
Oh,
called A Date with Dateline, and, it's the, number 1 true crime podcast in the world.
sure. In the
Yep.
same way
Mhm.
that Zena is the most beautiful and looks the most richest of anyone
Well,
on this show,
mhm.
I am the number 1 true crime podcast in the world.
Listen, you did win Creator of the Year at CrimeCon last year. You're going back this year to defend your crown, and
If we don't win, it'll be so embarrassing now.
But just
If
the
we're
same
not
person.
nominated, I don't care if we win, but I
Yeah.
would hope that we would be nominated again, because if we have to present the award to the winner and we aren't nominated, then
Yeah.
that would be embarrassing.
I have to tell you that I listened this past week, which will be old news by the time this comes out. But as I was driving back and forth to the beach, I was listening to Crime Junkie because she did a thing on Karen Reed and she did a thing on uh Koberger. I think I was listening to those. And I don't know. Anyway, I kinda got into a rabbit hole listening to it, but it started to sort of lull me into being asleep because it's so, like, soothing. But man, they got a lot of commercials on that show. Like, I know
Mm,
people complain about commercials, but I would
yeah.
say it's an hour and a half show and 35 to 40 minutes are commercials. Like,
Boy,
like huge chunks in the middle of, like, 10 minutes of commercials, like
I
10,
don't I
15.
and you get paid per download, and she has way more downloads than we do, so I
Yeah.
cannot imagine how much bank she's making.
She's a rich, rich lady who doesn't
Yeah,
care if people complain about the ads.
exactly. I would love
And
to be
good
that rich to
for
not
her.
get that worry.
Women supporting women, okay?
Love it.
Everybody, please follow me on Instagram at Pink Shade Pod. Please follow Kimberly and Katie on Instagram at Dateline. And we'll be back for the next episode. And like I said, it's already over in the $10 Prime feed. And if you want to listen to it, that's where it is. I hope you enjoyed it. And there'll be fun songs over there that I can't put here because they're not royalty free. Okay. All right.
Girl
Bye.
power.
Don't.